In the previous exercise, we have learned how to declare the variable. We understood the concept of an optional variable, how to declare the constant, how to declare a function or the method without returning which returns the void, a method which returns the non-void object or parameter or value. Now, in this exercise, we will be focusing on how to display the text on the iOS screen. Now, there are two basic UI elements. One is the textual and another one is, the second one is visual. So, we'll be first starting with the textual. So, in order to declare or in order to display the text on the UI screen or iOS screen, we need an UI element called UI label. Now inside the MVC design pattern, the view component is a dependent component and it always rely on the model component to provide the data. So without model, view is pointless. So whenever we learn any new UI element, we'll see which is the corresponding model element to provide data to that UI element. So in order to display a text, we need UI label as the view element and the data will be provided by the string component, a model, string model. Now in MVC, first we always need to create model, then we create view and then we merge model and view inside the controller. Therefore, it's termed as MVC, model view controller. Now we'll be removing the unwanted line of code which we don't need for this exercise, and now we'll focus on creating this application or creating this method. So step 1, create model. So I'll say var name equal to Priyank Ranka. So I have declared a local variable called name and assigned the value Priyank Ranka. Now, as we know, if you declare and initialize the variable, okay, at the same line, you don't need to explicitly tell the type of that variable. Step 2 is to create view. Now, for creating a view, we have 4 steps. So, step 2.1 is to create the view and initialize the view with the frame. Now, every UI element has a dimension associated with it. So, whenever you create any UI element, you have to initialize its frame. So, I will say my first text equal to UI label, and these are the constructor option we have. We'll say frame. CGRect is a rectangular structure and you have to call CGRect make, which provide 4 parameters: the x, top 5, the width and the height. So you have defined, you have initialized. Now you don't have to explicitly say new because it's implicitly taken care by the Swift. So there is no need to call a new operator. Step 2.2 says set the view with the model. So I'll say my first text. Now whenever you use an optional value, you have to use exclamation mark to access it. Okay, the model com value is called text. So UI label have a property called text and it's of type string. So I'll say my first text is equal to name. So in this line, your model meets view inside the controller. Third step is optional. We'll see in the next exercise. And the fourth step is to associate your view with the parent view. So if you have something drawn, unless it's not on the controller's view, it won't be visible. So attaching the view on the parent view. In our case, it's controller's view. So I'll say self is my controller. So in other language, you use this point. Here we use self. Self has a view. View has a method called add subview, and in add subview I'll pass my first text. Now once you have done this, you need to call this method. So we'll call this method in view did load. This is a method which gets called when your view controller view is loaded for the first time inside the memory. So when a controller view is loaded, you load your label. Now I want to run the application. So I click on this part and I'll select iPhone 4S. So we want to start way from the last device which is compatible, and then we'll move on to the new devices. There's a run button. You click, you'll start building the application and your simulator will be shown up. So there's an iOS simulator coming on here. So you can see iOS simulator, it launches, and after it launch, it shows you so you have successfully created a text on the screen. Now when you press command 1, it is 100%. Now I'm using 13-inch. When you press command 2 on the simulator, it becomes 75%, and command 3 becomes 50%. So because my monitor is small, I'll use command 3, 50% reduction in the simulator size. In next exercise, we'll see about the step 3.